That's an old sugar mill on the Hawaiian island of Kaua'i. The thing used to pump out 3 million pounds of sugar every year for stuff like cereal, chocolates, soda. It was a big deal. Only 2 other countries in the world produced more sugar than Hawaii did. But not anymore because of foreign competition. China! And now everything around here is pretty run down. The closing of the sugar mills isn't the only reason Kauai is so poor. There's a lot of issues here, and we're going to talk about that. And then you have this. This is Maui. I know, not the Maui you've seen in the brochures. Now Maui has a whole nother problem. The cost of living. Hawaii is now the most expensive state to live in, and Maui is the most expensive of all. The average cost for a home in Hawaii is $850,000, but here in Maui, it's $1 million for a house now. Not these houses, but they're a lot too. So a large population of the island squeezes into tiny homes just like this, and it's just going to get worse. I'm going to show you the poorest parts of Hawaii. This place has the same issues that we have on the mainland. There's a housing shortage and a poverty crisis going on here too. And the worst of it is right here, where I am right now. Maui, the Valley Isle. When you think of Maui, it's probably beautiful beaches and pretty waterfalls and, well, big nice homes that overlook the ocean. Well, they have a lot of that here. This is what people are starting to talk about. There's homeless stuff all over the island now. Probably doesn't surprise you, though. This is Kahului, the biggest city on Maui. It's the first thing you see when you get off the plane. A friend of mine told me she's moving away because of all this. The people living along the water and behind the Safeway and along the neighborhoods. You move here to get away from this and be surrounded by beauty, right? Well, this isn't the Maui of the past. Hawaii has more homeless people per capita than anywhere else in the country now. But this isn't going to be a video about homeless stuff. It's about affordability and what happens when jobs are lost and foreigners meddle in our affairs. Just up the road from Kahului is the poorest part of the island. This is Wailuku, a small city of maybe 15,000 people. A lot of this is cheap for Hawaii. Stuff around here is around $500,000. Now you're thinking, $500,000 for that? I know. And that's a lot for these people. It's pretty common for multiple families to live in one house. Many have 3 households crammed in there. Sometimes they'll even separate a bedroom in half with a curtain. Get more people in there. Save money. Sucks, but they don't really have a lot of options. There's a housing shortage here big time. Out-of-state buyers now make up half of all condo sales on Maui. And then, of course, everybody's heard about the Airbnb drama here. Short-term vacation rentals, they eat up another 15% of the housing supply. It's investment firms, second and third homeowners. And then after the housing stock's been picked through, this is all there is left. And it's expensive. And these people don't make a lot of money. A lot of the residents are locals, like old school Hawaiians. This part of Hawaii is almost half Asian. A lot of them are descendants from laborers who came over here in the 1800s to work on the sugar and pineapple fields. Well, Hawaii doesn't produce sugar and pineapple anymore. Hawaii doesn't produce hardly anything anymore. So a lot of this is a result of decades of overseas competition. And the economy here, it's just not big enough to support a large, uneducated population. And then there's the new people who move here. Well, they thought, I can afford it on Maui. I'm a teacher. I'm an office worker. I'm a cop. Well, they can't. Not anymore. So a lot of people here work in tourism now. But even that's suffering. COVID screwed everything up. And then the wildfires that happened here last year, they pretty much ruined the biggest tourist destination on the island. But tourism, it's a curse here too, because that means more people come, which means more Airbnbs are needed, which means less housing. They just can't win here. So you either put up with it and stay close to family, or you move away. There's now more native Hawaiians living in Las Vegas than there are in Hawaii. Look at Hawaii's population. For every decade, it was 20, 30, 40% growth. But for the 5th consecutive year, the population of Hawaii's declined. There's only 2 other states with a bigger population decline than here, New York and Illinois, and those states suck. Downtown Wailuku didn't look very thriving to me. We drove around for about an hour and, well, I don't think the tourists come here very often. Well, this is all the stuff that you don't see when you just get to the airport, grab your car, and go to the resort. I bet there's people that have been in Maui 10 times and haven't seen downtown Wailuku. The real Hawaii. Old Hawaii. Down the road from Wailuku is a part of Maui called Happy Valley. Locals call this a shanty town. I think these people here are even poorer. Well, this is old Hawaii right here, too. A lot of the people who live here are or were farmers, fishermen, laborers, plantation workers. People that helped build the place and were the heart and soul of Hawaii before it was even a state. Now they can't even enjoy the fruits of their labor. A lot of this is cheap housing that was given to natives a long time ago. I read that many of these people just lost their way due to change brought on by newcomers, aka all the rich people that moved here, and by changes in the world economy. They just keep trying to figure it out here. There's enough income that they won't be homeless. Some of them are growing their own food, just like in the old days. So check this out. So we were way back in some holler, and we found some rooster farms, probably for cockfighting. Well, we were back here driving around, and we clearly didn't fit in, and we were obviously snooping around. Well, we caught the eye of the guy that runs that place, and it was pretty clear it was time to go.
So many stories.
Now, for perspective, I wanted to show you 2 other areas near here. And check this out. So I went to the top of the hillside because I wanted to fly the drone over Happy Valley. And then I turned it around, and I was like, wow, look at the difference between the people up here on the hill and the people down below. These are the new people that are looking down on the old people. $800K houses. And then this is the middle class of Kahului. Even this side of town's struggling. Just like everywhere else in America, the middle class is shrinking. Some say on purpose. You can make 80, 90K a year in Hawaii and still live paycheck to paycheck. Hard to get ahead with the cost of housing and inflation and everything else. Damn gas is more than $5 a gallon here now. I saw loaves of bread for $10 and milk for $13 when I was here. It's childcare, fast food, health insurance. There's no saving any money anymore. Not for these people. Some can't afford to move, or they're stuck here for whatever reason. Stuck in paradise. America is a damn mess, mister. It's just all gone now. Nothing left but debris and puddles. They just don't make sugar anymore, do they? Not here. And then there's this place, the old sugar mill. That right there was the last remaining sugar mill in the state of Hawaii. Lasted all the way till 2016. 700 people lost their jobs when that place closed down. And Maui doesn't have enough going on to replace those incomes. But Maui's sugar woes aren't nearly as bad as those next door in Kaua'i. Kaua'i is the smallest Hawaiian island, and it's probably somewhere you haven't heard much about. But things are real here. This is Pakala Village. It's the poorest place in Hawaii, where the average person makes $10K a year. In this little pocket on the island, it's 900 people crammed into 150 houses. Almost half the people here live in poverty. The average family brings in $30K a year, and that goes nowhere in Hawaii. It's just about the same issues here as over in Maui. Houses are almost $1 million. Rich people have turned it into their own playground, and there's limited jobs. But jobs here are very limited. Kaua'i is tiny. There just isn't a lot going on, and there probably won't ever be. So a lot of people here have to rely on seasonal work, maybe farming in the coffee fields, or tourism jobs, but those are way on the other side of the island. However, it's worth noting the land they live on is worth $1 million easy, here and in Maui. So poor in the pocket, but rich on paper. It's pretty poor back here. Most beautiful island in the country, and they've got a lot of poverty here, just like they do where you live. Now, most of the houses we're looking at right now are where the sugar workers lived. Way back in the early 1800s, some rich plantation owners realized, well, sugar grows pretty good on Hawaii. And that was it. By the early 1900s, the Hawaiian Islands were making more sugar than anywhere else on Earth. For 200 years, this island was churning out the sweet stuff. Tens of thousands of acres of beautiful green fields of sugarcane. Back in the day, the sugar mills and plantations were thriving. People made good wages, and the living was sweet. A lot of Kaua'i was built on big sugar. A lot of people who lived here were brought here because of sugar. Many of the early Hawaiians were migrants who were brought over from Asia, sort of as slaves. They didn't really have a lot of skills, but they were damn good at making sugar. But it didn't make sense for the sugar plantations to operate anymore when foreign countries could make it so much cheaper. Plus, high fructose corn syrup was invented. Slowly, all the sugar mills in Hawaii began to shut down. And there aren't any left now. Haven't been for 8 years. So this is an old sugar plant, another one right in this community. It's where these folks used to live, and they've got this production statistics board from back in the day. How much cane and sugar and acres they've harvested, and that hasn't been used in forever. Stuff that we don't do anymore because it doesn't make sense economically. So a lot of the migrant families in the area struggled. I mean, working sugar is all they knew. And there aren't a lot of options for them here. So over time, all the migrant workers fell behind. And then their kids fell behind. And now it's a generational thing. Most of the people here are still descendants from the original Asian field workers brought here in the 1800s. When the plantations and the mills closed, people left. Some schools closed, businesses shut down. All the things tied up with the plantations eroded away. The whole social fabric crumbled, and nobody's been able to figure out a way to shake things up. This is just like the struggling regions I've visited before. Michigan and Ohio with the car companies leaving. Appalachialand with the coal companies leaving. Texas with the oil companies leaving. Shit changes and nobody knows how to fix it.
Did you know C&H Sugar took their land and canceled their queen?
Well, that's a good way to put it. I guess we did get rid of their queen. But from what I hear, she took the money and ran.
Hawaii is weak. They couldn't compete with that low-cost shit coming out of Brazil. We're letting other countries make everything now. They're taking our jobs and taking our women.
Well, that's because Americans want cheap shit, Mappy. So quit shopping on Amazon and at Walmart then. So a lot of Kaua'i is either barely making it or not making it on their own. There's a lot of poverty and drugs on this side of the island. A lot of this stuff is $600,000-$700,000. These people can't afford that. Some of these families pay very little to live here, maybe $200 a month in low-income vouchers. There's limited access to good education, not good training programs, or any jobs. So this whole side of the island remains economically disadvantaged. Hawaii imports 90% of its fruits and veggies now. A lot of the land's government owned, and it's just cheaper to grow shit somewhere else. Well, they can't find anyone to work the fields anyway, because they can't justify paying them a living wage. So I guess that means there's a labor shortage, or a hiring shortage, or both. It's a standoff. There's a little bit of opportunity that the long-timers are used to here. They still grow some things here, just in limited amounts. Most of the stuff they grow here now is all that GMO experimental stuff. And a lot of the old sugar land was turned into coffee fields, just like this. Kaua'i started to transition over from sugar to coffee in the 1980s. And now there's over 4 million coffee trees on this island. What you're looking at right there is the biggest coffee plantation in the USA. They still make salt here, kinda. Right there, that's the salt ponds of western Kaua'i. I was told that Japanese families come down here and make salt by hand. They weren't there when I was here. But that's not going to put a lot of people to work anyway. I don't know how they do it, but that's what they're doing. When I was here, I ducked into one of their little markets, and there wasn't much on the shelves. Just simple stuff right here. Small town market stuff. If they don't have it, you ain't getting it. That's it. That is it. Now, some of these old villages have managed to turn themselves into tourist towns, and that provides some jobs. I showed in the last video, I think I saw 5 different former sugar town villages that are now booming because of tourism. Here's another one. This is a place called Hanapepe. This is also on the poor side of the island. It looked to us like, hey, this place is in transition, trying to become a little tourist town. It has some newish stuff that's opened up and some tourists walking around. So that's good. And there's somebody else who's still pissed off about how we colonized the place. Now here's what it looks like when a Kaua'i village makes a complete turnaround. This is Kaua'i town. This was also a former sugar town, but as you can see, it's doing pretty well. These are clearly new homes with a lot of money. And look, Kaua'i town transitioned pretty well from being an old sugar town to a thriving tourist trap. It can be done. Look at that. I don't know what that is. There's a lot of it. This used to be an old fruit stand. The stand is closed. Just like everything else on western Kaua'i. A lot of this side of the island is no longer in business. Nope. So what's the future of Hawaii? Not bright. You don't ever hear about growth or economic progress or anything here. I talked to a lot of people when I was here, and they have a lot of things to figure out on these islands. They can be a wonderful place to live if you're set up. But if you're not, I think they live just like us. Regular America. Feeling pinched and a little worried.
The economic status and economic health and well-being has a direct impact on mental and emotional health and well-being, right? If you ask anybody who just making it, hard for them live in peace. Hard for them go to do stuff, help them themselves, to like kind of improve all aspects of health and vitality. Hard for expect them do that if they're just getting by on it. And when the cost of living is increasing and like the wages is not only staying the same, but sometimes the kind is decreasing. How do you expect to live? Are people getting pushed out? Because, bruh, if you go to Las Vegas, you make half of the income in Hawaii, you can live like, you move to Indonesia, you can live like a king. You know what I'm talking about? I go, wow. But, hey, us as Kanaka, we cannot be leaving home, bruh. We cannot be leaving home. So it takes us also to be like, you know what, I'm not going to blame the system. I understand the housing situation rough. I understand the whole cost of living and food and hold a house $800,000. Like just this house right here, old house built in the 50s. This house probably easy 1.5. Easy 1.5. Easy. Yeah. But it also takes us to be like, you know what? But I'm going to put the thinking cap on. I'm going to learn new skills. Have tools, because if the current tools that I stay using to build is outdated, it's not going to get me into the future. So I'm proactive thinkers on Hawaiian. Like us as Kanaka need to think about like business, how to invest, how to come together. Again, ideology and consciousness. We come together in a vision to help our people. We pool resources together. We introduce our own bank to help our people. Do it on the blockchain. Be innovative. Have no control from government. We can do all of this right now. And it's happening incrementally across our communities. We just all need to come together and make this stuff happen. And it's happening, so I'm thankful, bro.
Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. And I can also help you find your new house, too. Email me and I'll work with you. I'm not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home, too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country, and I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. And if you want to buy some Mappy gear, click the store link on my homepage. From there, you can check out the latest merch. There's hoodies, coffee cups, stickers, and shirts. Show off how much you love Mappy and support the channel. And I'm on Cameo too. If you want me to send you or somebody you know a personalized video message, go to Cameo and search Nick Johnson YouTube. It's fun.
Hey YouTube world, I'm Sage, Nick's manager. You've enjoyed a Corner House Entertainment production, so watch another one.
Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more.